It is possible to become free from debt, financial worry, your boss, and your zip code. You can start living a life you love, but first, you need to find your freedom. Using financial independence and lifestyle design principles, you can create the life of your dreams now. There are many paths to freedom, and that is what this podcast is all about. My name is Becky from 20free.co, and I am the host of the Find Your Freedom podcast. The Find Your Freedom podcast is launching on Friday, January 31st. This is a very special episode to give you a sneak peek into what the podcast is all about. Let me ask you a couple questions. Are you looking for a way to live your life to the fullest now while preparing for your financial future? Do you want your money to work for you instead of you working for your money? Do you wish you could quit your job and travel the world? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then Find Your Freedom podcast is where you can find your answers. I'm going to use my experience in lifestyle design and financial freedom to interview individuals who have found freedom in a variety of ways. By listening in, you're going to hear the first-hand account of how they overcame adversity and early financial mistakes, became financially free, designed their lifestyles, and found their freedom. You get to learn from their mistakes and successes, so you don't have to learn the hard way. I will also be publishing solo podcast episodes to provide more in-depth content about specific ideas, questions, and topics. I want this to be more than just a podcast for listening to, so I'm making it a do-cast, where you're actually getting actionable information from the podcast that can create real outcomes in your life, rather than just consuming it and moving on. The podcast is launching on Friday, January 31st, with a 3-episode release. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your preferred medium for listening, so you can get notified as soon as the episodes go live. If you'd like to be on the show and share your story, please reach out via the contact form on our website, www.20free.co. Stay tuned for a sneak peek of the first 3 episodes. Episode 1 is all about my personal financial journey. I'll be introducing you to the experiences that made me passionate about money, lifestyle design, and freedom. I cover how I got into $100,000 of debt and how I paid the majority of it off in less than 2 years. My method for saving 80% of my income while still spending on things I care about, what my original financial independence timeline was, and how and why my goals have changed. Here is a sneak peek of episode 1. I didn't make very much money, but I did manage to spend all of it. I made this decision to go to this college based entirely on what I wanted my lifestyle to look like and not at all the financial implications of this decision. I had $100,000 in student loans when I graduated that I had essentially no idea how I was going to pay back. In my early financial life, I spent all of my money. Then I spent money that I didn't have, which was taking out student loans. And in that time, I really was in the mindset that I was doing really well. Episode 2 is a fascinating interview with Sunitha, who went from a broke Olympic athlete with a 6th grade education to a real estate investor and corporate finance professional. We discuss financial abuse, money mindsets, house hacking, and diversifying income sources. Here is a sneak peek of episode 2.
After time, I started to see that there was a price to pay for being able to count on that comfort of a stable paycheck every single day. And that price came in terms of option. No path to financial freedom happens overnight. And so you need to be able to set up a process that you can stick to day in, day out. There's always a strong focus on saving just in case the what if happened, because the what if had happened many times. And also still just focusing on the fact that money was a scarce resource. At the end of the day, like the big focus is on, okay, where are you? Where do you want to go? What do you have to do to get there? And sitting there with my money under my mattress was not going to get me to where I needed to be, and dealing with that fear and dealing with the fear on a daily basis is 100% worth it if I can live the life that I want to live.
Episode 3 was recorded live at FinCon. I talked to the bloggers A Purple Life and Financial Mechanic about financial independence, retire early, otherwise known as FIRE. A Purple Life is retiring this year at the age of 30, and Financial Mechanic will also be retiring in her 30s. We cover the exact dollars and cents of their financial independence and early retirement plans, the advice they would give themselves in their early 20s, aligning your spending and lifestyle with your values, and how to handle the risks of retiring in your 30s. Here is a sneak peek of episode 3.
What choices do I want to make that are different? And one huge difference is to stop working in the corporate world in your 30s. There's so many unknowns in our life, in our retirement plans, and there's so many things that can go wrong, and there are also so many things that can go right. I want to work on what I enjoy and what I find fulfilling, and I want to find the work that makes me feel fulfilled by the end of the day.
Don't be afraid to be weird. Just do it, even if it seems like no one's watching. Living by example can change lives.
Please follow the Find Your Freedom podcast on social media, which can be found at www.20free.co. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your preferred medium for listening so you get notified as soon as the episodes go live on January 31st.